something happened last night at the Pine Street Inn, and I knew that it was basically useless for me to walk over to the police station and try to talk to somebody verbally about what happened last night. I already knew it. I knew I'd walk in. I knew I wouldn't get any kind of response. I knew they would say there was nothing they could do. I knew that they would. I knew it. I don't even know why I even tried to do it that way. I knew that the only thing I could possibly do would be to write some kind of written statement, you know, and give it to somebody at the front desk and hope that it helps someone. You know, last night there was a situation where a woman who really has a habit of all of a sudden starting to accuse people of stealing something from her starts screaming that something was stolen from her, and I don't think anything was, right? We were it was in the locker room area last night when people were taking their showers. I was kind of sort of like in the bathroom area where the sinks are, and then back out like drying my hair, and this woman is chatting with somebody else about maybe she can do the other person's hair sometime, that kind of thing. And then I went into that room. The woman who was saying she could do the other person's hair, her purse was sitting on the counter. There was nobody else in there. I was there for like a minute, and then the woman walked in, looked at her purse, asked me if she saw anybody around her purse, and I said no. And then I don't think she even took her wallet out of her purse before she started screaming that somebody had stolen money from her. And then the person that she said all of a sudden she started screaming that it must have been that the person who stole the money must have been the person that she had been talking with just a few minutes before about doing her hair. This person is transgender, and actually is not someone that I really get along with. Someone who has coughed at me several times, but still at the same time an easy target, you know. And this woman who started screaming that like all this money had been stolen from her has done this kind of thing before. Several weeks ago, she started screaming that somebody was wearing a necklace that actually belonged to her. You know, she's running around the entire shelter screaming that like a woman is wearing a necklace that her brother had given to her, and how dare she, and all this other stuff, right? And at the time, I felt sorry for her. I thought, oh my gosh, it's terrible. Why would anybody do that, right? And then a few weeks later, she was in the bathroom talking about how she had gone out to lunch with some people. And then that one of the women sitting at the table with her, you know, was wearing something that you know she had stolen, so that she had somehow stolen from her, and how dare she wear it right in front of her, and that kind of thing. So I think what this woman does is she decides she wants something from somebody, or she decides she wants to make trouble for somebody, and so she accuses them of stealing. But what actually happened last night, it seems, was that this person, who I don't think did it, this transgender person who I don't think stole anything from anybody, last night at least, you know, seems to have gotten even taken out by the police. And now I hear this morning that there's some kind of rumor that she's actually been barred for life from the shelter. Just like that, right? This woman who did this accusing, she's after she had started screaming and she's got people around her like clucking in sympathy over her. She's like, I know how much money I had. You know, and now I only have $5, $7. Like this, I think, was the first time that she actually had counted any of the money in her wallet. I think she was just trying to start trouble for some reason that is like totally inexplicable. Then she walks up to me this morning, and she's like, "Someone's trying to say you stole the money. Did you?" I'm like, "No." But what I think happened last night was that she goes, she saw me at this thing. She decided she wanted to try to cause trouble for somebody. She thought about trying to accuse me of stealing money from her, realized she probably wouldn't be able to get away with it, because even with all the problems I have at the shelter, you know, I managed to survive it, and I think people know for the most part that I'm not out to cause trouble for anybody. And then changed tack in the middle because she knew that she could accuse this other person who's transgender and get away with it, which it seems that she did. Right? And then she walks to me this morning and she goes, "It's the new rumor about you that you stole the money from me." And I'm sitting there like, no, I didn't steal anything from you at all. So, you know, I go over to the police station this morning, you know, say I have to talk to somebody about what happened to somebody last night. You know, this woman, this police officer is like, that gets sent out to talk to me, doesn't even walk out in the lobby to talk to me. She's standing there in the doorway, you know, with her hand around her braid the entire time that we're talking. And she's like, "Oh, there's nothing I can do. You got to go find out, you know, the person's last name." I'm not gonna be able to get this person's last name. You know, I would have tried to talk to the supervisor last night about what was going on, except I knew the supervisor would just start screaming at me and telling me that nobody asked for my opinion, you know, and just to mind my own business, right? And the woman saying, "Well, you know, find out who it is, then go to court for her, say you're a witness," that kind of thing. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to find this person's last name. You know, nobody's shelter's going to tell me that. They're going to say, oh, confidentiality. No matter how much gossip anybody does around there, all of a sudden, if you try to find something out to help somebody, it's all of a sudden about, like, you know, confidentiality. You know, it's just like, and finally I was just like, and there has to be a record of things that happened last night. You know, it can't be that difficult to look at the police log and say that somebody was sent over to the Pine Street Inn last night, you know, and that somebody got removed from the shelter after being accused of stealing. You know, I mean, how difficult is that? It can't be difficult at all, right? No, but she's standing there, literally has her hand around her, like at the end of her braid the entire time that we're talking. Wasn't rude to me, but was totally unhelpful. And finally I just got frustrated. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Have fun fixing your hair. And then I left.